The world's fastest half mile, the last great Coliseum. It doesn't seem to matter what you call it. This place is a challenge. It's one of NASCAR's biggest events of the year, the night race at Bristol. But this half mile concrete oval poses an even bigger challenge as the first round of the playoffs for the 2024 Season 6 Area Cup Series. As we head into this 5-round elimination style format, 12 drivers will get narrowed down to 4 before they head to Atlanta in race 17 to fight for a championship. Hi everybody, Kyle Heyer, Finney DeCuna, and Hunter Sleppy with you tonight. I'm on a temporary audio setup here while I wait for some new headphones, so bear with me if I'm popping and crackling a little bit this evening. Finney, welcome aboard though. Bristol, hello. It's nighttime is the right time, huh?
Oh, it definitely is. It's going to be a big change for these drivers from the high banks at Talladega to the short bull ring style racing that we find here at Bristol. It's going to be intense, and what better way to set off these playoffs than at a tight short track like this where the tempers probably going to raise up quite a bit. They have been slowly etching up there all season long. We might see some tempers overflow here at Bristol.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have any tempers overflare from last week at Talladega into the Coliseum, but this would be a perfect place to do so. Don't think there's any love lost between the 87 of Blaze McKinney and the 41 of Tyler Nichols. In case you missed it, Talladega was one phenomenal finish where Tyler Nichols entered 13th on the white flag lap and then made it through the big one and just bobbed and weaved his way, Ricky Bobby style, to clinch his spot into the playoffs with seconds to spare. 28 one-thousandths of a second is what separated Tyler Nichols from being outside the playoffs compared to being inside the playoffs, Kyle, and he's listed now as the 9th seed heading into the postseason.
Let's talk a little bit about the playoff picture coming into this event. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll notice drivers in blue and in yellow. Finney and the drivers in blue are currently in and above the cut line. Those in yellow are below it and have some work to do. But short rounds here, only 2 per round, 2 races per round. So you've really got to maximize your opportunities at each of these racetracks. And just like Talladega can get you in trouble, Bristol can too.
Oh, definitely can, and especially being at Bristol, you make a mistake, you can easily end up with the car destroyed or significantly slower and off the pace or ruins your chance of good points. And then we're heading into Michigan, and you got to make it all back up again once more. So it's going to be very much on these drivers to perform and get out there and get the best possible finish they can. But, as they always say, to finish first, you must first finish.
Yeah, and finishing first is something that Jake Matheson is familiar with. He's only got one start here, but that was last season in which he went to victory lane. Jonathan notes currently the quickest driver aboard, but the quickest playoff driver, that's Jake Nichols. And Kyle, it's hard to fathom, but a third of these playoff drivers in the Cup Series are from the Solar Flare Racing Camp. You got Jake Nichols, Tyler Nichols, Seth Knoll, and then I believe the last one is Peyton Howell, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, they're going to be a threat. Not only just in Scioli. Okay.
Keep forgetting that he's a Solar Flare driver.
Oh, sorry.
I am forgetting.
I lost track of the question. I'm so distracted by how bad my headphones sound right now. For those that don't know, I had brought my headsets down to Indianapolis, and I very much broke them on the way back. And I've got 2 new ones coming in the mail, and they'll be here Wednesday, but I'm on a very old and very jank audio setup, and It sounds so bad. It sounds like we're talking through toilet paper tubes right now. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Once the green flag flies, it'll all go away. Here's a look at those practice results, though, guys. You mentioned the solar flare situation, Hunter. It's like the Hendrick Motorsports effect, right? They've got so much strength coming into the season playoffs here, so they're going to be ones to beat for sure. But you also have to look at drivers that could really spoil things, like Michael Curhan, reigning champion. Finian, maybe he hasn't had the strongest of seasons in comparison to some of those drivers, but he still is in pretty good contention. He's had some top 10s and a couple top 5s here and there. So maybe Michael Curhan can really spice things up here at the tail end.
We'll see if he can, though. He is the last seed at the moment. He's got the lowest amount of points, sitting 12th in the playoff order. So he's definitely going to have to try to turn things around. He's starting at a slight deficit to his competitors, but we'll see if he can get things turned around here, especially as we start in qualifying. And I would say, in a stark contrast from last week, Talladega, qualifying is going to matter a lot tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Track position is going to be key here. It's only a half mile, or maybe just a little over 0.53 to be exact. Travis Beckner, it really doesn't matter where he starts, Kyle, because he's one of the drivers that has to go through pit road during the opening stint of this race. He has too many wreck points, so he's got to serve a drive-through under green, same as playoff driver Connor Horn, something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, drive-through under green at Bristol, not a fun thing. You're going to lose a handful of laps in the process, so no fun for Travis Beckner here tonight. We'll see what he can put down on the board, though, in a couple laps worth of qualifying. Jeremy Miller's the first driver to put up a time. Jonathan Oates goes to the top of the board. Blaze McKinney goes second, and now we're going to see lots of shifting and shuffling on that timing and scoring screen.
Yeah, trying to see who's going to be up there. Jonathan Oates, see him. He was trying to complete his lap and spinning across the line, so he's done. Blaze McKinney up in second. Michael Curran, just talking about the 24, he's shot up to third place, trying to see he's 9 thousandths off Blaze McKinney as he comes back to the start-finish line. Will it be enough across the line for him? And it looks like it will not be an improvement.
Yeah, Curran's going to need to have a solid night here. He hasn't had a top 10 in his 3 starts. His best finish was 11th, so he's just a spot shy of that. Well, obviously a top 10 would help in the point standings. And here's the 52 of Payne Howell. Now him and Adam Cabot are the 2 rookies that are inside the postseason. So no stats for them from the short track just yet. We'll know in about, give or take, a couple of hours or so. But he's already quick, Kyle.
Yeah, up to second place on the first of his 2-time laps. That's not a bad lap at all. And lap 2 is slightly slower, so he won't go all the way to the top. Oates will hang on now. Here comes Jake Matheson in the 54. It's a 14.310. That puts him second.
We'll split the 45 and the 52. Jonathan Oates can hold on. It'll be pole number 2 for him this season, but Matheson not done quite just yet. Still going to push across the line. Ooh, and it might be close. It looks like he's pushing, and he will get it. He will pass Oates. He will take provisional pole by a decent amount as well.
Just out to see where the 7 of Skyler is going to slot in. Last season, he had the track record of 14.206 here a season ago. So the low 14.2s are what we're going to be looking at, and we're also going to be looking at the 1 of Seth Knoll. I mean, just a dominance from him in the regular season. See if he can carry it in the postseason, Kyle, with 5 wins to his name.
It's just like any normal playoff format, though. You can win every race. If you don't win the last one, can get yourself in a pretty big hole. 17th on the first lap. That's not what he would like to see. And he goes to 18th as Cabot goes to second. He's one of those drivers on the outside looking into the cut line, so that's a strong effort for him. And lap 2 for Knoll, much better, and he goes P2.
Yeah, I figured he was warming up for lap number 2. That's more characteristic that second time by. Jake Nichols, he's on his one of his 2 flying laps in the 73 machine, coming back to the start-finish line, trying to see where his Solar Flare Racing machine will end up at. And it'll be 11th at the moment, and I think we're going to see something similar to what we saw with Seth Knoll, and expect a slight improvement on lap number 2.
Jake Nichols is finishing inside the top 5 in each of his 3 Cup starts here, so 4th quickest. That's not a bad starting spot for the 73.
Other drivers on track that we got to keep our eyes on. Douglas Newbeging in the 71. Note he's got the yellow number board. That means he's in the playoffs, but currently scored 11th, the second to last seed at the moment. And Bristol, just like I mentioned in the opening, Finian, Bristol, like Talladega, is a place where you don't always control your own destiny. You have a crash up the road and be caught up in it. The good news is here that you can finish with a car that looks a whole lot like it just crashed out at Talladega.
Yeah, you can. Of course, again, when you're fighting for every single point, the less damage to your car, the better off you typically will be. As a couple of drivers come across the line of Krezik in 6th, Turner in Turner in 8th, Newbegin in 14th, just monitoring up to 7th. As they're all coming close to the line, does Newbegin improve over lap number 2? He will not.
Yeah, Newbegin's really going to have a good night here. I looked at his Bristol stats. They aren't good at all. His average finish is 22nd, and his best finish in his 3 starts was 15th. So Newbegin going to have to secure himself a good spot or a good finish for this. He's got a somewhat decent spot, 16th, but Scioli 3rd quickest, and it looks like Matheson's going to be on pole.
Yeah, strong effort there for Jake Matheson, Seth Knoll, James Scioli, Adam Cabot, Jake Nichols. That's your top 5 here for qualifying as we get set to go racing here in just a few minutes' time. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat, and you can earn double channel points that you can use to redeem for free merchandise for just $5 a month. Join today at twitch.tv/Area iRacing. And while we've got a moment, I'll remind you about our starting grid sponsor, Central Mobile Homes. If you're looking for a small or large home, a new shed, or a Triple Crown trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 28 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomesinc.com to get started today. So warm-up time here, guys. Let's go through our onboard cameras. There's a couple of them to take note of. One of them is going to be, let's see, Michael Curhan. There he is, giving us his perspective. To gain every advantage he could in the playoffs, Adam Cabot prepared his feet by getting a pedicure. Don't know if this is true.
I really hope it is.
Well, I mean, he got in the playoffs without getting a pedicure, so this might be a reverse jinx for him.
Self-care, man. So I was just filling everybody in pre-race on some changes I've made in my life, and they've all been very good. I have to say, one of the you're all gonna laugh at me for this, and I can't believe I'm saying this on the internet. one thing that I have found enjoyment in is I've really, it's been a long time since I've used lotion.
Oh God.
You need to really watch what you say next.
No,
the worst way you could have.
It makes your skin nice and soft. And
Well, it prevents it from getting ashy too.
and it
I
smells
can
good.
feel that.
So
Did I know what I do? I should actually start using lotion more. My skin is really
it's
ashy.
really nice.
Especially as it's starting to get colder.
yeah, there's Connor Horn giving us his onboard perspective. We already saw Travis Beckner, and then we've got Jake Matheson, who's just joined us as well. And then Brett Punkari is also giving us his onboard, of course, in his virtual reality environment. No, but I don't know. It's been nice. It's been a nice change. I switched up all my products, shampoo and shaving cream and all that. It's nice to mix it up now and then, you know.
You're not wrong.
So much you switch to a different mic and headset point. And then you realize, wait, I gotta go back.
No, I gotta go. I mean, this is not intentional, and I hate it, and I wish to undo it. It probably sounds better for everyone else than it does for me because these headphones are so broken. I probably could use. I have a 1/4 inch to 3.5 millimeter adapter somewhere that I could use headphones I actually like. Oh well, too late.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Bristol full pit. Oh boy. Good size field here tonight. 200 lap race. Finian, talk to me about the race distance here. This feels like it's going to be pretty swift, especially if we don't get any or a lot of yellow flags.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a lot of laps, but of course, we're doing 14-second lap times around here, so it's really not going to take any time at all. If anything, this could be the shortest race of the season, depending on how green we go. And I would say, the series has been fairly green for the most part this year, the season at least. So I think there's a decent chance you can go green, especially if you don't really get a caution early on. Typically, after everyone takes it easy on the start. Once you start to get one yellow, you typically have a couple other yellows follow on through, especially towards the later part of the race. So that's going to be the big question mark to see if we do go green all the way to the end, if these drivers are going to behave out there.
It's happened once before, but not on the Cup side of things. It happened in the Pro Series. I believe it was Season 2, maybe Season 3, where we went caution-free. Hard to think about that for Bristol, but Yeah, usually we get a lot of yellows here. We average about 9 and maybe 10 at some point. The last yellow, though, got to keep an eye on. We average around 11 to go. Had overtime back in Season 4, and last season, the last yellow came out with 21 to go. But you never know. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Like you mentioned, drivers who contend all season long could just have a bad race, and then they miss out on the next round. And then some guys like Michael Curran from a season ago, he impressed with his consistency, and it got him in a good spot to win the championship, which he did. One of the other drivers that I'm looking out for, Ricky Springer is also going to need a good run here. His average finish is 23rd from his 3 Cup starts, and that's finished 21st. So Ricky Springer's in need first.
Ricky Springer, I have not seen him yet.
He is, yeah.
Not here, so he will really need a good run next week.
Uh-oh. He's going to need a win.
That's what I mean.
Huh. All right. Well, that shakes some things up before the race even begins.
Checkered flag here on the warm-up. Next week we head to Michigan. You want to talk about wild cards. Michigan with the next gens. That might as well be Talladega at some point.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm looking at Michigan right now. Springer finished second in his only start at Michigan, so seems to be a good track for him, at least from that side of things. So must win for Springer at the very minimum.
Well, cars are heading down to the racetrack here, so let's get through our Central Mobile Homes starting lineup. We'll kick things off with the front row, and it's a couple of playoff competitors there in the blue. Jake Matheson and Seth Knoll, Finian, are your front row.
Yeah, moving on back to behind them, solid second row. James Scully in the number 7, starting the inside next to him. Adam Cabin, the 07, rolling off in 4th.
And in 5th place, row 3, it's Jake Nichols, playoff competitor in the 73. Jonathan Oates starts 6th in the number 45.
Back in 7th, it's going to be Connor Kresick. He's lined up in the 14. Next to him, Justin Bonner in the number 9, rolling off in 8th.
9th place, in row 5, Peyton Howell, playoff competitor. Bailey Turner, not in the playoffs, just looking for a race win, starts 10th.
Rolling on back to 11 is going to be Blaze McKinney in the 87. Next to him, it's Nick Silver in the 99, rolling off 12th.
And in 13th place, Philip Groner in the number 11, starts 13th place. Michael Curhan on the outside looking in, needs to keep his prospective championship hopes alive with a good run tonight, starting 14th.
Same thing can be said for the driver behind him in 15, Connor Horn, the 42, rolling off in there. And then also Douglas Newbing as well. He's on the outside looking in the 71, rolling off 16th.
17th place, Garrett Grant in the number 5. Max Service rolls off 18th in the 81 car.
Back behind them, Greg Mitchell, he's in 19th in the number 2. Next to him, Seth Berger in the 77, rounding out your top 20.
21st place, Tyler Nichols in the number 41 machine. Jeremy Miller starts 22nd in the number 30.
Back in 23rd, it's going to be Matthew Bell in the number 8. Next to him, Travis Beckner, going to be rolling off 24th, but he has a drive-through. He's got to serve under green. That's going to be very hurtful for the 28.
Ben Pierce starts 25th in the number 65. Then Cameron Hearn, 26th in the number 4.
Back in 27 is going to be Andrew Payne in the number 70. Next to him, Reece Shaver, he's in the 97, rolling off 28th.
Ed Scherer Jr. starts 29th in the number 17. And then Ryan Hart's 30th in the number 3 car.
We'll go back to 34. It's going to be Ed Robertson in 64. Next to Emerson Ardern, he's in the 57 car, rolling out 32nd.
David Weishart starts 33rd, and conveniently in the number 33, Brett Punkari, he has an onboard camera, starts 34th in the 35 car, and that will round out our 34 car grid here tonight. We'll get a couple of pace laps, and we'll turn them loose in warmer daytime temperatures and 76-degree track temp. That is really cool. So the grip level should be high. That means things will be very, very fast on track, Finian. So that could change the dynamics. Just for reference, if this race were to go green from flag to flag, it would take us 47 minutes, and it would be the shortest race in the Area Cup Series season. I don't think that's going to happen, but I suppose anything is possible.
Hey, man can dream, right? You never know. You never quite know what might happen. We had night cautions here last season, so we'll see how this race is going to play out. I mentioned Travis Beckner having a drive-through. He's actually, if he finishes without an incident this race, he'll finally have to stop serving drive-throughs. And this is kind of what led to him missing the playoffs. He was disqualified from a race for having too many incident points. And then has been having to keep on serving drive-thrus, so hopefully he keeps it clean and he'll be done with having to serve drive-thrus for the last couple of races. Drivers going to the back, Philip Groner, Ryan Swan, Nathan Jum, Mason Kane, Connor Horn, Jonathan Oates all have to make a trip to the back of the field. So
all right.
Kind of a couple notables in that lineup as well.
Well, I missed last week, and I'm also last in the standings, so I'm going to pick my 2 drivers to win this race. And
That's how that works? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's how Michael Curran said it works, and he's in charge of the
all right.
points.
So
All right,
I'm
all
going
right.
to take the 7 and the 73.
I'm really hoping they both end up wrecking, so I can just laugh. You got
wait,
two picks and they both wreck.
I'm still second, assuming, right?
Yes.
Yes, you are still second.
All right. Well, you left me with the pole sitter and the winner from last year, so I'll take Jake Matheson.
Guys, he has 5 wins this season. You don't pick him. I'm gonna pick Seth. No, win number 6. He's on a roll.
I almost picked him, but it's really been hot or cold with that one car this year for me. So
I am really hoping that someone can make like a YouTube short and it cuts to this moment when he comes flying across the start-finish line in first place.
well, this is the, what race is this? This is the 13th race of the season. And we've got Michigan, Iowa, Kansas, and Atlanta left on the year. The playoffs begin now. Of course, now our series should be roughly following each other now that we're kind of caught back up with the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series and the Truck Series as well. Those will be happening all week long. And this is the calm before the storm, guys. The last great Coliseum. I've always loved that this track has that aura about it. Like if in 10,000 years there was only one building left, this would be the one I would choose.
Oh, absolutely. It's been an absolute blast to watch these cars fight amongst here, and then especially, again, how much is on the line for these drivers for this race. There's a lot on the line, a lot of expectation for them to perform well, and for some drivers, a hole they might have to dig themselves out of, and this is where it starts if you want to make a championship run.
Yeah, and just like the real Coliseum, this one has held different types of events here. It's not just known for racing. It's hosted a college football game here, and next summer, I believe in June, it's going to host a Major League Baseball game, so that'll be fun to watch. So it truly is like the last great Coliseum.
Yes, everyone knows the baseball stadium, Bristol Motor Stadium. All right. 200 laps. About an hour worth of racing with a couple of yellows along the way. Let's see who comes out the other side of the first round of the Area Cup Series Playoffs Season 6 2024. Time to go racing at the last great Coliseum. Green flag, and we're underway. Lap 1 complete. Matheson drops into line ahead of Knoll, Cabot, Scioli, and Bondurant. Still some double wide behind him.
Yeah, a really great start for the number 9 up to 5th place at the moment. Bailey Turner, though, taking advantage, trying to go to the top lane. That seems to be the place to be, as Seth Knoll will use that to secure the lead away from the 54, Jake Matheson, and lead lap 2.
Yeah, Michael Curran scraped the wall coming out of turn 4 on lap 1, so he's immediately parked it on the bottom. Doesn't want to risk it too much yet, but at some point, we will see the majority of the
trouble,
field.
turn 4. The 2 cars around, and he's going to get clobbered by, I think that was Jonathan Oates in the 45, and the 11 and 33 are also in it.
Yeah, big old wreck to kick this one off.
Yeah, trying to see who started that. I think that started with the 2, making contact.
30 of Jeremy Miller underneath. Right there.
Was that Tyler Nichols getting by, hitting the wall?
I think so. Let's have another look. There's the 41, the crafty car up there on the outside, and gets by. And then I think there's a few other cars that get involved in this pretty late. The 33 we also saw tangled. He was just trying to slow it down and kind of spun through the accident. I think just clips the 11 there at the end.
Big damage to the 45 and the 2 especially, hitting nose to nose, so they're probably going to be down in the pits for some lengthy repairs, as already got the first caution to slow things down, and there goes the dream of a caution-free race.
Just like that. I feel like we usually have an early yellow or two, just these guys trying to get accustomed to the fast-paced speed at Bristol. I mean, they've raced around some guys during the practice session, but not with all 30-plus cars out there at once.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic to navigate, and you're just trying to figure out momentum and where the speed is early on here. again, we're kind of at a point in the year where, we probably would have had these drivers on Bristol recently in the service as well, so your aggression level's pretty high. Sometimes we're at, racetracks that you haven't seen in a while in iRacing's officials, but this one's relatively recent, and I think that helps a little bit, but maybe in this case it just ramps up the aggression because you're a little more comfortable with it. Seth Knoll, though, takes the lead early. Cabot up to second place. Matheson back to third. And one thing I like about seeing some yellow up towards the top of the ticker, Finian, is it means that Cabot is earning some very necessary points against drivers that are far ahead of him in the standings.
Yeah, that is extremely important just to get up there. And even lead a lap if you can. Obviously, it's easier said than done, especially fighting the one of Seth Knoll. Again, 5 wins to his name this season. But every little point can count, especially when you're up there. But Cabot doing what he needs to do so far at the moment. And I also want to point out, too, that caution was very conveniently timed for Travis Beckner. He did come down pit road to serve that drive-through, and it came out while he was on pit road. He's unfortunately 1 lap down, but it's better than him having to go down 2, which is what you kind of typically see from Bristol with drivers towards the back, end up 2 laps down. So he's only 1 lap down. The penalty is considered served, so should be able to get that lap back, I think, pretty easily.
And what about the 42 of Connor Horn?
What about him?
I thought he had a drive-through as well.
He had an EOL.
Oh, he only had the EOL. Okay.
Yeah, only an EOL. So he lost his 15th place starting spot, starting the back up to 24th at the moment. So he's on his climb back forward.
And lights are out on the pace car, so next time by we're going back green. We'll try it again. And when we get the green flag, we'll be 5% complete already. You're counting.
Yeah, curious to see. Go ahead.
Man, I was just double checking the rec score. I swear it said 4, and it was a different color than the color it is now. It's usually red means drive-through, orange means EOL. So whoever did that just kerfluffled me.
Green flag, and not a good restart at all for Adam Cabot. He got swamped.
I guess you could say he was kerfuffled on the restart. He completely missed the gun, I would say. Trying to fight with currently the 73. Nichols is working around the outside, and he's stuck in that inside lane, which we're typically not seeing quite benefiting a whole lot of drivers. Nichols still fighting hard, and James Scarlett trying to pinch that 07 behind him.
Yeah, he's working that outside lane in, side by side for the 3rd spot with Cabot and the 07 still trying to get things rolling in the right direction after that wonky restart. Meanwhile, the 5th place car, Matheson's going to roll the bottom, and the next car on the outside behind, the 73, is Justin Bondurant.
I really like that Nichols is going high early here. There's a lot of speed and momentum to carry at the moment on the outside of Cabot here. Early days, but we're going to see this racetrack open up some grooves throughout the night. I do think the top line will be the dominant one later in this show. Nichols pulls up to the back of Scioli.
They're already looking to be one of the better lines to make some moves. That inside lane just can't quite get the run, especially with how reliant the next-gen car is on momentum compared to previous generations. Speaking of running the outside lane, there's Connor Horn in the back, running around the outside, trying to run the outside around the 3 of Ryan Hart's in the middle of the field, and you can see it's pretty much a traffic jam in the middle of the field here.
Yeah, nowhere to really go other than slam the car in front of you, which obviously you don't want to do that, but it will happen. You'll get the occasional bump from someone behind, and it may take 1, 2, or 3 bumps until the message is being delivered, hey, you're in my way, you need to get out. So just one of the many complex things of racing at Bristol.
Ooh, big swipe there on the bottom of the 28. There are other cars 1 lap down that he would like to stay ahead of. Philip Groner is one of the others, so he's really motivated to keep this track position, so if the yellow does come out, he doesn't have to wait for another one.
Yeah, Philip Groner, I think, going a lap down, as well as Greg Mitchell and Everett Jr. All cars getting repairs after the first yellow that occurred, so they're all trying to fight hard here to get back on the lead lap as soon as they can. You never know when that caution may come out. Can come out in 5 laps, can come out in 100 laps. Never quite know around here, but up in the front, the order's kind of sorted out. Nichols is able to get ahead of Scioli and Cabot. So the top 4 sorted themselves out, but it's a mess from back on behind them.
Yeah, right around here, you got O'Kresick working around the Matheson machine, and there's one of the playoff drivers, Douglas Newbigging, in the 71. He's right around the 15th position. He's currently fighting with Reese Schaefer, the 97, on the outside lane, but again, really nowhere to go. There's just a car in front of you, car to your outside, so you can't really go outside of that, but there's going to be a little check up there on the inside, but see the 4 of Hearn there working that outside lane.
Yeah, really impressed with how big those outside runs can get. You saw the 4 just shoot up the outside, but a lot of the accidents come later in this race when you're trying to slip up to that outside groove and you misjudge the timing, Finian, and you try to jam your car into a hole it will not fit in, and that's where a lot of those incidents come from.
It typically is. Let's continue on. The first couple rows going mostly single file. Though Nichols looks like he's running the outside a little bit more defensively. See right there, ahead of Adam Cabot. He's trying to push up for third. Actually, Scully was overtaken, put back to fourth. And looking on behind them, Reese Schaefer and Cameron Hearn still making some inroads on the top lane.
Yeah, Jake Matheson's done nothing but drop back since the start of this race. The pole sitter is down to 8th, and not sure if that's just tire preservation, Kyle, because he hasn't moved up to the outside lane yet, other than to get out of the way of the 07, and that didn't work for him.
Pull for the lead.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah, here comes that 73. Jake Nichols not waiting this time, and around the outside he goes and decisively takes that spot. We'll see if Seth Knoll can keep pace with that purple car.
Yeah, he caught me off guard with that. I didn't expect he would be challenging that quickly for the lead. He was getting some runs on the back of the one, really setting up the corners prior, just really maximizing the run off. Here comes Adam Cabot. He's working to the top side for second place.
Looking to get around that one of Seth Knoll, trying to make his name heard in the playoffs. He's currently below the cut line by about 1 or 2 points heading into this week, so Cabot trying to make the most as in, well, I would say open car, but as a car that's on the outside looking in.
Comes Cabot to the back to the bottom. He's trying to open the door back on the 73, but I think Jake Nichols is going to set sail here. And this is really dangerous. If you get a long green flag run with someone like Jake out front, he will put a lot of cars a lap down here, but Cabot's not letting them drive away.
Yeah, look at Connor Kruzek sneaking on through there, trying to get past. He got past Seth Knoll, who's now starting to fall off quickly to the back. Now Justin Monterey looking to the outside in his number 9 machine. As for the lead, Nichols is able to just keep ahead of Adam Cabot.
Trying to hold off the 07. He's giving him a lane on that bottom to use, but to no avail, as the 07 will continue to try, but the 73 will continue to drive off on corner exit.
Yeah, really nice drive off for the 73 as he starts to pull away. Still a little racy back here. There's the 71 on the bottom, Douglas Newbeging in that Chevrolet. Again, he's one of our playoff competitors that really needs some good fortunes tonight, and he's gone the wrong direction here pretty early on.
Hey, I'm just curious to see, and I'm wondering if maybe it's a tire thing or just getting caught on the wrong lane. I'm not quite sure. We've seen a couple of drivers start to drop back early on. Seth Knoll dropped back, maybe push the stuff too early on. Matheson, maybe he's trying to play off, preserve his stuff for later on in a run, if anticipating a longer run. But it's kind of surprising to see the kind of ebbing and flowing already so early on in this run. Cameron Hearn now in the number 4. He's charging up. He's battling for third.
Yeah, anywhere from about 3, 4, 5 tenths of a second in tire fall off this early on in the going, but Cameron Hearn making the most of his tires as he's jumped up to third now on that outside lane.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this in the past, though, from Cameron Hearn at this racetrack in particular. He shoots out of a cannon, Finian. I just don't know if he can keep the tires on it for an entire run. This race is so short, though, that if you can be aggressive and make it work even for a medium-length run, he might be in good shape to threaten and win this race. Right now, he's the fastest car on the racetrack, save for Okresic, who's right behind him.
I mean, for his sake, I'm just hoping that he kind of gets a good run. He's had a fairly miserable season so far. He's only had one finish inside the top 20 all season long, and that was a 19th at Chicagoland, so he really could use some luck his way. So hoping that he can have a decent finish out of this and keep that core car up there. And he's still not giving up. He's pushing harder. He wants to get past Adam Cabot.
Trying as an open driver to go ahead and snatch a win away from one of these playoff guys and make life a little bit more difficult for them. Him and Connor Okresic. Okresic's jumped up to 4th in the time being, but yeah, he's really the only one that's inside the top 4 or 5 working that outside lane. Meanwhile, Reese Schaefer on the bottom with Douglas Newbegin behind him, and I think Newbegin's still trying to get in line.
It's getting busy back here, guys, isn't it? This is pretty racy from 16th on back. This is kind of where the trouble spot can be at a place like Bristol, Finian.
Oh, definitely can here as they start to double file up and fighting hard. Cameron Hearn, sorry, not Cameron Hearn, that is Connor Horn fighting to the bottom lane, trying to see if he can get past the 41 and the 33 of David Weishart. who's kind of the thorn in his side. Here's battle 17th, 18th, and 19th, respectively. As Whitestar looks like he's going to be able to push on through, but Connor Horn's not giving up yet on the bottom lane.
There is damage to the 33. He did pit, so we assume he took tires on that stop, just to kind of say why not. Oh, in front of Michael Curran, they're duking it out for 10th, but he's got a good view of it from a few positions back.
Just hit my boom again. I hate these things. I can't stand these boom mics, man. Oh boy, Michael Curran started 14th, running 14th. This is frustrating in a scenario where you got a yellow number, Finia.
Oh, this is very frustrating here because you need to make some forward progress, and you're just annoyed because there's a lot of guys passing you who don't really matter in the championship fight, and you do matter in the championship fight, but there's no quite way to get on forward. As the 87 of Blaze McKinney, you see that him and the blue and white card to the outside, he will get on through, and here comes a 41 to his outside. Just there's nothing you can do on that bottom lane. As there's an exchange up for second place. Cameron Hearn, who was ahead of Adam Cabot. Cabot's now taking that spot back. And I was doing a little bit of digging in the stats for this race prior. Guess who won this race in Season 4?
It was none other than Cameron Hearn.
It was.
I knew I remembered him being good here, but now it seems like the pace is slipping very quickly, which is something I feel like I've also seen here.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is what I was kind of a little bit concerned with, him overdriving the car, especially with these guys out in front pushing hard. Connor Kresick just saw him in the 14 skate on by.
Yeah, Kresick up to 3rd, Skyley up to 4th, and it looks like Bondurant's about to take over 5th, so as fast as the 4 climb, the downfall is starting to get a little bit more quicker as the 1's closing in.
Yeah, just as quickly as he rose, what comes up must come down. And the 4 is dropping like a stone in a pond right now. As we are reaching the 1/4 mark of this race, it is absolutely sailing by, guys. And Jake Nichols is sailing away, 1.8 seconds clear of the rest of the field. And he's going to have these guys in a stranglehold here. He is going to catch lap traffic at some point. He's about 5 seconds back from the tail of the field.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing he's talking about is dealing with lap traffic.
That's really going to be his only struggle. That's going to be his only struggle. He's driving away from everyone, and one driver who is struggling, although he's trying to limit the bleeding now, Jake Matheson in the 54. I'm not sure what his strategy was, but he started on the pole, but he's fallen outside the top 10, and I think he's trying to take a spot back. He's right behind Nick Silver in the 99. He's still running the bottom. I don't even think he's pondered the outside lane except for that restart where the 07 didn't go and he tried to go on the outside to get around him.
Yeah, we'll see if things continue to slip or if he's conserving something. I mean, these if you're expecting these to be long runs, but at some point you got to turn things around and start making progress, and I feel like he's already too far gone maybe to really threaten to lead this at the end of this run.
Yeah, it was an interesting strategy because I was thinking he was trying to maybe conserve his tires, like what we're seeing with Cameron Hearn, the fall off.
Oh, that was tight. A little contact there, Finian, sorry.
Yeah, no, he's making contact with Jeremy Miller. He's trying to fight hard here to keep that spot for 9th. But yeah, I thought he might have been trying to save his stuff, but I think at some point he's going to have to start moving forward. Oh, and he will slide in front of the 30, slam the door shut. Here comes Peyton Howell trying to make some progress on the bottom. I'm not sure if he's really going to quite get there. He will at least get ahead of the 30, Jeremy Miller, who will now lose 2 spots.
Yeah, a couple playoff drivers going around the 30 of Miller, and Garrett Grant behind him as well for 11th. So the 5 already starting to make some progress. And mentioned another playoff driver, Blaze McKinney in the 87. I think he's trying to take it to the next level with a Kyle Larson scheme. Kyle Larson did win this race back in the summer, well, somewhat summer to fall transition, but nonetheless, he's trying to work that Larson magic in that 87 car.
Channel whatever you can here. That's for sure. To the inside of Jeremy Miller. Miller, by the way, I think he's up a number of spots, isn't he, from where he started? From 22nd to 13th. So pretty good, steady progress for the 30. Different livery on this car I don't recognize. Simrap market colors, but kind of a neon, kind of Halloween aesthetic going on here.
Yeah, very fitting for the month of October.
Oh, he's so close to the wall.
Yeah, within him hitting the outside wall there, got very close. There's Bailey Turner going to throw it down there to the inside in turn 3 and slide in front of the 30. So the 30 has similar to the 4. As quickly as he's risen up to the field, he's slowly starting to trickle back. Will tag the wall just a little bit there as Tyler Nichols and Connor Horn are approaching from behind.
Tyler Nichols, his best finish here was 12th, and his average finish here is 19th. So he needs to keep doing what he's doing. Whoa, but he's in a 3-wide situation off 2.
And it's the 4 continuing to drop. I mean, it's like he just was Superman and then just got shot down. I mean, he's just plummeting.
I mean, we typically don't see a lot of tire wear with these next-gen cars, but I think we're really seeing it here. There's such a load put on the tires through the corners that I think that it's going to be a factor. One of the few tracks it is going to be a factor at, as we've just seen with the 4 Cameron Hearn, who was up as high as 2nd place, now back in 19th.
He's like a second slower, literally a second slower than Jake Nichols. He ran a 15.185 that last time through Cameron Hearn, 16.1. I think did he go on the pit road? No, Ryan Hartz is on pit road, though. Actually, no, he is on pit road.
You know what's interesting, guys, is we've been green long enough now that we're starting to lap the normal field. And this is exactly what Travis Beckner didn't want to see, because he got put a lap down with that drive-through early on in the race, and another quick yellow would have saved him, but we haven't had one since. Now there are a whole bunch of other cars have gotten lapped, and it's going to start making this feel like a very long night for Beckner, Groner, Mitchell, and others.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's probably cursing his luck, because he did get a little bit lucky with the way the caution came out, and he lost only 1 lap instead of 2, but didn't get the luck with getting another caution. Typically, at the short tracks, we see quite a few cautions in relative succession, but haven't seen one since the first one on, lap 3 or lap 4, so we've been green ever since then, as Jake Nichols is trying to work through some lap traffic. Connor Kresick is 5 seconds back. James Scioli trying to get past him. And Seth Knoll, he's come back up now to 4th. So he kind of came up, fell off, and now he's come back up again, the number 1 machine.
Yeah, 5 seconds. That's a lengthy lead here, especially at a track like Bristol. That's a whole straightaway. I mean, you can see it from the the 14 really slow in front of the one of Knoll, but you can see Jake Nichols. He's already in 3 and 4. They're just getting on the straightaway.
Yeah, he's just absolutely leaving everyone in the dust. I mean, this is like SpaceX compared to Sputnik right now. It's not even close.
He's building a brigade behind as well with all the lap cars. I think there's, 5 or 6? Oh.
Who's the cork in this bottle?
Talk about a centipede.
I think it's Jeremy Miller that's leading this train. And his locomotive needs a little push, huh?
He's probably going to get pushed by someone if he doesn't get going forward. He's really held up quite a few cars here, and I'm sure a lot of these guys are hoping to just get around him so that way they can have a shot at some of the drivers just up the road.
You can
Tyler
see
Nichols, Connor Horn, Matthew Bell, Michael Curran all in behind.
Philip Groner's on Electric Avenue because he is, I think he pitted, so he's got, I think, somewhat fresher tires. I need to double check on that.
Yes, but it was mostly because of crash damage, so I'm not sure how much advantage there is tied to the disadvantage of the damage he had to fix, but there's something there.
Looks like Cameron Hearn, he is retired in the 4 machine. He's going to finish 32nd, unfortunately. Well, I thought he was trying to do something maybe with some strategy by coming in early, but unfortunately he's called it quit. So 31 cars remain on the racetrack, of which only 19 on the lead lap, and that number is slowly dwindling as Dick Nichols is caught up to this giant. Look, there he is in the background. The background of the show, you see him right there. He is, the purple, blue, and white machine. And he's about to put a lot more cars over lap down.
I don't even know how you would attack this, Kyle. I mean, they're just, I mean, the outside lane is express lane from what I'm seeing. The inside lane started to get stacked up, but this many cars, I wouldn't even bother.
57 of Arden is split 3 wide. Connor Horn goes the long way around, and Jake Nichols has got to pick his way through this like a pumpkin patch. Where do you go? Left, right, center? Not there. That's where the 57 is.
Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't have to really force the issue that much. He's still got a 4-second lead to James Scioli, so you might want to be a little bit patient with this. Oh, as he tries to look to the inside of David Weishart. There he'll start to have a look. Not quite, but because he's got Douglas Niving on the bottom, so can't really go a whole lot anywhere, and his lead is starting to dwindle.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're stuck in lap traffic. I mean, especially like this. I mean, you literally got nowhere to go. You can go in the middle, but you risk wrecking yourself, so you don't want to do that, obviously, as a leader and the playoff contender. So that gap started to dwindle, though, from 5 seconds down to almost 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's just he's been a very busy boy the last couple laps, hasn't he? 120 laps to go. Clicking laps off so quickly here. And now half the field is a lap down.
Half the field's lap down, approaching halfway. Just 20 laps shy, and well, these guys are gonna have to make a pit stop at some point. So that's gonna be another thing that's gonna be on some of these drivers' mind. A couple drivers have trickled down on a pit lane, not a whole lot.
You know, it was Ben Pierce that was making his stop, but I can't even imagine that these guys were even practicing green flag pit stops, or at least some of them. It's got to throw a whole nother monkey wrench into this thing.
What is a monkey wrench?
I don't know. I just kind of came up with it on
No,
the spot.
but it's a term for sure, but I don't know where that comes from.
Hang on.
Oh, Vinny's got it.
Monkey wrench is a type of wrench with a smooth jaw adjustable wrench. Whoa!
It's a real wrench. Look out. Matheson and Okresic are side by side. That's for fourth.
Oh, so I'm not a genius.
Nichols is, I think, hip check Douglas Dubing off turn 4. That's why my voice went up an octave there for a second. Actually did make some contact. Douglas Dubing ended up almost in the pit road wall on the front straightaway. He saved it, so he'll continue onwards. Probably had a hard stopper there for a second.
Seth Knoll, look at the run he's got on Scioli.
Solar Flare 1, 2, and 3. They're just determining which order they will run, at least for second and third, and it'll be Seth Knoll on through. Scioli not putting up much of a fight.
Well, behind that, there's a method to the madness for the 54, Jake Matheson. He's climbed all the way back to fourth after falling back early on, so it seems like the prophecy was true that there would be a long green flag run, which I kind of didn't expect. But
sorry. I hate this. I just get Italian hands. And
Kyle's hitting his mic. Oh, now hitting the back of the 07 of Adam Cabot. He saves it.
oh boy.
well, now though, Seven's not going to let him go.
Just get a replay of that. That was actually, you may want to hang on the replay because things can get spicy here. But here's a look at what happened. They're fighting hard for position here, and not sure if he was trying to go in behind them or if he was actually legitimately trying to push him out of the way.
I think he was just trying to get in line there. It was on the entry of 3, and it seemed like he was just trying to get in line. And boy, oh boy, speaking of trying to get in line,
look at this, the 7 3 wide with a blinking car too. Man,
Knoll took it. He went 3 wide with those Reshafer blinking on the bottom, so Seth Knoll through the lap traffic. Michael Curran, he's running in 11th. He's trying to chase down, not the car ahead of him, that's Philip Groner a lap down. He's got 2.5 seconds up to the next car. There's Justin Bonner in the number 9.
That gap's down to 1.2 seconds between Nichols and Knoll. Despite the lap traffic, they've been closing in on the leaders.
3 wide with the 1. Seth Knoll is not waiting anymore. Through the middle, 3 wide to the lap cars. He wants Jake Nichols, and he wants him bad.
Well, actually, he gets past Connor Horn there. Notably, that means Connor Horn is a lap down. He was passed by Jake Nichols up ahead. Actually, Connor Horn and Douglas Dubing, they're racing out for position there on the racetrack, and behind them is Jamie Scioli. We're down to 13 cars on the lead lap.
And it's going to continue to go down from here.
Oh, it's about to drop one more. Jake Nichols, he's on the back of Matthew Bell, who's currently the last car in the lead lap, and then right ahead of him is Travis Beckner, about to go 2 laps down.
Crazy to think we're almost halfway through this race.
It's just flying, guys. 27 minutes to go, which is usually when I look up and think that we're almost done. I mean, it's just absolutely sailing by. 200 laps around Bristol goes by quick, but it forces you to have to make every decision properly. You don't have any time to make up for mistakes. Here comes Cabot to the bottom of Okresic, and in the wall is the 17 of Edward Scher, and that was a little dicey for a moment.
Every part of the racetrack is getting dicey. You have the lead lap cars passing down cars a lap down, and they're trying to fight to stay in the lead lap, but they're also off the pace, so it gets really hectic here, and it might get hectic here once again. Peyton Howell fighting Connor Okresic for a position. They're going side by side, and Howell throwing it in there to get ahead of Okresic.
Oh, no, I thought about the crossover, but Blaze McKinney was there, so McKinney very close to entering the top 5 here as he's going to do battle there. Meanwhile, a couple more playoff drivers. We've seen the 71, the 41, the 42. they're all in that little gaggle there, right around that is 16th, 17th, and 18th on the track. Oh, but it's a tight gaggle there.
Oh boy, tight out of 4. 2x2 here to David Weishart, who was involved in that first wreck on the evening. Rebounding.
Miller and Matheson making contact off turn 2.
I'm just shocked that Matheson has had such a lack of pace compared to what we would anticipate. Curious if he can correct the ship or right the ship. Oh, I guess he's only 4th, but I mean, but
He's doing horrible.
But when you consider like where he started,
he might get in a wreck here. 3 wide off the corner. Had to push Douglas Newbing off as well. Newbing's once again the ball.
I guess my point being is like his average pace hasn't been that good. He hasn't. I mean, yeah, P4 now, but his lap times are really co-requisite with the bottom half of the top 10 rather than the top half, even though he's running there right now. I think we're gonna have a battle for the lead here shortly, guys. Seth Knoll has run Nichols down.
And wondering if this is going to be playing, if we see something playing here. It seems that Solar Flare, they're kind of been coordinating the passes for the most part. They've been fighting a little bit here and there, but they're not. The big thing is they're not slowing each other down, and they're keeping the gap they have to the rest of the field. So Seth Knoll here, he's looking to the bottom, Nichols up on top, and it looks like they're going to hold station, or at least they're going to fight for it as if they run on the racetrack. James Kelly not too far in the background. This is going to be a Solar Flare 1-2-3 fight for the lead.
Stevin's trying to close in and make that a reality. As look at through the lap times here, it's about a second off with the fastest time and the most recent time for some of these guys. And one thing I'm noticing, Kyle, you mentioned about the 54 Matheson as Garrett Grant's on pit road. He ran a lap quicker that last time by than the entire top 3.
All right, so maybe he was saving something for late in the going, which brings up an interesting point. When do you pit 106 laps into a 200-lap race?
I mean, these guys can go a long way on fuel, so the fuel's not going to be the limiting factor. We are definitely seeing the tire wear, though, is definitely a thing, and you may want to come down to pit road to get some fresh tires as well as top up on the fuel. So we're going to see these guys push harder and harder. There may be a small chance, they can make it all the way, but I'm not exactly sure how big of a opportunity that's going to be.
Still a good gaggle of cars here, being led by the 42 of Connor Horn. Mentioned that he's in the playoffs, but he had an EOL, so he's had to start climbing from the rear early. It's up to 14th, but he's still stuck a lap down.
And under fire right now from cars from behind. It's getting really busy here with the 33 of Weishart taking some big lunges. This is for position between these drivers.
And 07 Adam Cabot looking to the bottom, trying to snake on through the traffic. Whoa, almost gets into the left rear quarter panel of David Weishart. There's still 3 wide, and he's trying to get through this as efficiently as he can, but there's just nowhere to go.
There's about 5 playoff drivers in this gaggle. You got the 42 of Horn, the 07 of Cabot, the 52 of Howell, the 41 of Nichols. We go back up. Here's where 3 more are, and these are the top 3, but that 54 is slowly closing in less than 2 seconds now, but it's still a 3-car race between the Solar Flare drivers.
Yeah, 73, 7, and 1 is the order now, and here comes Scioli with a nice big run on the 73 to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Gonna have a look, trying to see if he can take the lead away. And it will be this number 7 of Scioli up into the lead. And again, a very efficient change of position, so still questioning if they're coordinating amongst themselves in that Discord channel.
Well, we're about to have our 3rd different Solar Flare driver lead a lap. As you see on the left side, it's now laps led. There it is. The 7 has led 1 lap, but I was just about to say the 54 Matheson is going to have to work through the line of defense for Solar Flare, but he's already up to 3rd.
Seth Knoll, down on pit road.
Oh, well, that explains it.
Yes. It is much easier to make passes on cars when they're in the pit lane.
And Matheson down there as well.
All right, so this is, again, 85 laps to go. This is a pretty good place to stop, I would think. But strategically, how are you aligning yourself with your teammates? Are you staggering? It looks like Solar Flare may be doing just that.
I think the best thing to really work this out is when you're approaching a wall of traffic, maybe just worth to come down.
Oh, look at the 30. He wanted through on the 52, but he could not get there.
correct me if I'm wrong, but if you pit under green, you don't have to go all the way around pit road.
You do.
You do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, because remember, if you pop up the series info with the full name of the track, it's Bristol Full. Right there, Bristol Full Pit. Wrong side. There you go. Bristol Full Pit.
Full pit. Not mosh pit, full pit. That makes sense.
So we're not using the split in the pit lane. You can see the blue line around there, the inside of 3 and 4. So these drivers have to go under green and under yellow, have to go through both sides of pit lane.
Oh boy, look out.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a good chance we could see a caution with you. You're starting to see now the drivers with fresher tires have significantly more grip through the corners than the drivers who have yet to pit.
That was similar to what we saw last week from Tyler Nichols in that run to the finish. Just squeezing through the middle.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of differential in speed right now. It's about a second and a half difference, about a full second difference between your slowest lap and your fastest lap. But around Bristol, that's a lot.
that is a lot.
Scioli
seeing now
from the lead.
Coming down, and Nichols is going to stay out one more lap. Adam Cabot, Peyton Howell all look like they're going to stay out another lap as well.
That's just a moment of truth for whenever these guys come in and pit.
Adam Cabot
Robertson's smacking that wall.
Adam Cabot's kept himself in the conversation today with that yellow number board. Again, he's on the outside looking in, coming into the night. If he could walk away with some pretty solid points here, he'll feel a lot better heading into Michigan.
Yeah, he's been fighting for it hard. He's been fighting amongst Peyton Howell, other drivers he's fighting amongst the points with. So to keep that car up as high as he can. So here comes to get service to his 07 machine. And Jake Nichols also down on pit lane.
Yeah, Cabot locked himself in with a win from Darlington, so that is the reason for him making the playoffs as the 73 rolls through.
Here's your battle for the lead now. It's Blaze McKinney and Peyton Howell. Howell advantage, McKinney chasing.
And Peyton Howell trying to hold up McKinney as they work their way through turn 1. And just wonder again for both of these drivers, when are they going to come down to pit lane?
Maybe not this time. I thought the 52 was going to pit that time, but not sure when, but it's a nice battle for the lead.
Nine seconds back to Bailey Turner. The cat is sitting on me now, and I can't lean close enough to. This is why I had said so much.
Man, this is not going well for you. You got a cat sitting on you. You keep hitting the mic.
It's going so bad.
Audio is not there. Headset.
I'm glad this race is short because it's just driving me crazy.
What is crazy is that battle.
I just can't. But here's the 9 Bondurant who's trying to sneak through the middle of these two. That's Groner and Nichols, 2 teammates ahead.
Yeah, and Bondurant is 2 laps down. Compared to the 11 and the 41, so he will just get on through them as they will resume their battle. And there's Jake Nichols.
Oh, gosh, Nick Silver. I thought he was about to smack into the bumper of the 73.
So still waiting on the front 4, and then Tyler Nichols to hit pit lane, and then pretty much everyone is cycled. I think Travis Beckner still owes us a pit stop as well, but he was trying to catch a cycle that might end in disaster, and he might be the disaster getting split like that.
I think he's trying to stay out.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Kyle is going through it tonight. He's not even on the racetrack.
Whoa, something might happen here on the racetrack here. Everyone's held up by Travis Beckner off of turn 2. I was going to say that. I think, the 71's going to go around. He gets to the wall. We remain green.
Wow. That's not enough for a yellow. He didn't go fully sideways, but that's going to hurt him and Blaze McKinney. Unbelievable.
Here's another look. There's too many cars in too small of a space here, and then Bondurant locks up. Takes him up the hill.
Almost took out Jake Nichols in that as well. But yeah, what I was going to say is that Travis Beckner, I think he's just trying to stay out there as long as he can because he knows as soon as he has to come down to pit, he's going to be pretty much out of it. There's a 71 of Douglas Dubik, and I think he's got a meatball flag. Indeed, he does. He has to come down and fix some damage. That's really, really going to hurt him after having such a good run.
And the only 2 cars on the lead lap now are the 87 of Blaze McKinney and the 52 of Peyton Howell. Everybody else a lap down.
And it's
Peyton
still
Howell.
messy back there, isn't it?
He's coming down
Wow.
to pit lane. Oh, as Michael Curran almost got in the back of the 28 trying to work his way on through.
This is a mess back here.
Really is a mess because Beckner is just staying out there and he is significantly slower. You see David Weishart in behind him. Whoa, Weishart spinning!
Oh gosh, that's going to be...
And caution.
I think he tried to swerve down to get out of the way of everyone, or he just lost it off of 4, but that looked really odd from the 33.
So second caution of the night at lap 138, and here is what happened to David Weishart. Right behind the 28, gets kind of caught up here, a little stack up, and just gets throttled up and goes around.
Yeah, 17 got into the back of the 77, who got in the back of the 33, and then once you get loose like that, it's just really no saving it. There's the car's under so much weight, so much on one side, it just gets tossed around. Yeah, no matter what you can do to try to correct it, unless you lock it down. So, Weishart, small spin for him, get some nose damage from hitting the pit road wall, but now get restacked up here. So it's Blaze McKinney that's the leader. He's yet to come down to pit lane. James Scarlett, he did come down. Actually, fun thing we didn't note. Scarlett, he came down, only spent 9.5 seconds in the box. That means he only took right side tires. He's the only one to do so in the field.
Well, Seth Knoll and Matheson were the only other drivers on the lead lap. Philip Groner, the lucky dog. So only 5 cars on the lead lap before pit stops.
And they are all coming down, the leaders, it seems. Actually, Blaze McKinney, he still stayed out. That's odd.
Yeah, I don't know why you would want to do that.
Yeah, because that means because the rest of the leaders, five of them, there's only 5 cars on the lead lap. With the way this caution fell, everyone else has come on down. They've stayed out, so I'm not quite sure the thought in that.
He is coming now.
Yeah, so I wonder if he missed it.
He might have, and it's so easy to do here at Bristol because both sides of the racetrack look the same.
Yeah.
Man, well, you know what? He's so dumb. He went from the lead to 4th. Oh, man. He lost so much track position.
Yeah, catastrophic. Catastrophic mistake there for Blaze
Championship
McKinney.
Implications.
He's not,
Well,
well,
you never know, it could be.
It could be, but...
So him and actually it looks like Philip Groner, he also missed the pit road entrance, so he's coming on down. So
Well, Philip Groner was the lucky dog.
yes.
So, Kyle, is everyone going to get trapped a lap down, or are they all going to take wave around?
they should all get wave rounds because all the lead lap cars pit, right? So they
Yeah,
should...
so I'm trying to find... So Seth Knoll is in behind Michael Curran, so that means everyone 12th and up should be getting a wave round.
Yeah, that's really going to shake things up because Garrett Grant, who, well, in the Pro Series, he almost made it by 21 thousandths of a second to the playoffs, but he's 6th right now amongst Philip Groner as non-playoff drivers. Jake Nichols down to 7th. Bondurant, he's been running top 10. Same with Okrezik. Jeremy Miller's kind of had an up and down night. He's back in 10th. Curhan and Payne Howell, I believe, are the only other ones on the lead lap, or is Howell still a lap down?
Howell is still currently scored a lap down.
Okay. Good for Curran nonetheless. He's basically been mid-pack for the whole race, but good on the 24, getting caught in the right opportunity at the right time.
All right, here they go for the wave round. So majority of the field going to get the gas up and get past the pace car.
We're going to need another lap to do this here?
Yeah, I think they're looking to see if they need to extend it, and
Yeah.
they have. Whoa.
We'll stack up there as everyone gets caught back up to the pace car.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
All right, so here we go. Got 11 cars on the lead lap. And for Michael Curran, if you want to go on his point of view, he is a ways from the leader, even though he's in 11th.
Well, it's a long way back there. Tail end of the longest line.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's literally half a lap behind.
Time to go racing once again, lap 145. Let's do it. Green flag back in the air. Seth Knoll, Scioli, Matheson, McKinney, Grant with 55 laps to go next time around.
It's going to be a sprint to the end here for these drivers. Scioli falling in behind Seth Knoll, in between himself and Jake Matheson. Blaze McKinney back and forth. Garrett Grant way down the order in fifth. So it's really the top four amongst themselves.
Yeah, there's about almost 3 seconds of separation between fourth place McKinney and fifth place Garrett Grant. So that's what happens when you take wave around. So I don't. Oh, there goes Robertson! Oh, look out! Cabot! Whoa, I think he clipped the 64. Might have tapped him on the nose.
Nick Silver is also in it. Here's how this happened. That was just Robertson getting into the back of the 28, and then from there, and Cabot just clipped him. I don't think that'll be a big deal, but would have rather not had been in that wreck, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he got away with relatively minor damage to the nose of that car, Adam Cabot, so I think he should be fine. Of course, I have to see how it'll play out once we get back to green, but I think he should be okay. And this will really actually give a good chance for a lot of the drivers who are on the lead lap but waiting behind the order to reorder themselves and get closer to the leaders instead of being half a lap behind.
Oh, we got a moment. We'll thank our replay sponsor tonight, giving us these great replay perspectives. Hendry County Motorsports Park. Racing is back at the Hendry County Motorsports Park. Join us on October 19th to see Crusoe late models, street stocks, gladiators, and more. Tickets are $15 for adults with discounted prices for seniors, teens, and kids ages 5 and under are free. Come see racing at the southernmost dirt track in America, located in Clewiston, Florida, off U.S. Highway 27. Visit henryracing.com for more information, and make sure you add some life to the party with Elite Entertainment. Located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina, Elite Entertainment provides high-quality band production to entertain at any location. Visit Linktree/Elite Entertainment LLC for all contact information. 50 laps to go next time by, guys. And look at the top 5, all playoff competitors. And the first driver that's outside the cut line looking in is Curhan in 9th.
Yeah, and he's looking pretty good as far as the way he's situated with, with only a small amount of cars on the lead lap. He's looking to have a decent finish regardless, as long as he just gets that car across the line. He is in pit lane, and actually notably with another driver, Connor Krezek. Not for anything notable he's really done, but I've noticed the 14 cars has a QR code on the nose of his car. If you can get a picture of that.
Gainer with caution.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So I managed to scan this QR code. It actually took me quite a few laps earlier on in the race trying to get a chance to scan it, but I did. And it leads to a Wikipedia article about this condition, which means, and this is pretty hilarious, the fear that one is being constantly watched by a duck.
There's your QR code.
Oh god, that is cursed.
This is the forbidden cam, but maybe you can get it to scan like this.
No, let me try. It's not working.
Yeah, you have to kind of go up from the top to really get a good angle of it.
Well, I'm not a superhero, guys.
If you go zoomed in, you might be able to get.
There you go. Do the catch
fence. Making them work more.
QR codes are not really designed for things that are moving. That's why they go on A-frames and poster boards.
He should have also put that on the side of the car as well. I think that would have helped him quite a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I give up. It's not working for me.
That was a nice touch. Driver for Lucky Duck Motorsports, for those who didn't catch the connection.
My boomer complaint, get rid of QR codes.
Disagree. Anyway, let's restart and go again. Lap 153. Guys, 12 minutes to the end of this race if it goes green from here. That's how tight we are to the end of this thing. Green flag.
I highly doubt it. I think we're going to get another caution. We'll see, because things are starting to kick up here. Dyer's got fresh tires ready to go. Seth Knoll, the leader, and it's Blaze McKinney. Look at him in the 87, trying to work to the outside of Jake Matheson. Was trying to get to the outside of James Scioli. He's all over his back bumper.
Yeah, Matheson looking to the inside, trying to take third away. And meanwhile, a couple more spots up at grabs behind them. That's the 30 of Jeremy Miller. He's running that 10th spot, but up in front of him, it's Okrezik and Groner duking it out for 7th.
Lots of shifting and shuffling happening here in the late stages of this race. For the playoff competitors, they've begun to filter out towards the top. At least half of them have. The 42's in the middle, 3 wide, underneath the 8 of Matthew Bell.
Pushing it hard, and there's a lot of drivers further back here that are a lap down. They're just fighting it out amongst themselves, trying to see if they can get themselves back on the lead lap. There is Matthew Bell making a move to the inside, trying to fight with the 77 of Berger. Both of them are not on the same lap.
That's the fun bit about Bristol. You can be side by side with someone and you won't even know if it's for position or not. But one thing that is for position, the 5th spot, and Jake Nichols to the inside of Garrett Grant back there, starting to work his way back for the top 5. And in front of them for 4th, Matheson trying to get that outside lane rolling, but as the door shut on him by McKinney.
I worry a lot about everyone in front of Jake Nichols because Jake destroyed everyone in the mid-length run earlier this race, and that's basically what we've got left. So if Jake Nichols can get by this 5 car,
caution and your pain.
And never mind.
Oh boy, no more mid-lane run for you, or mid-race run.
It was busy back here, huh?
Yeah, it was. I was trying to watch some of the battles back here, but it looks like someone hit Travis Becker. Not sure who that was.
It was the 2 of Greg Mitchell.
And then he went into Andrew Payne.
The domino effect.
Really, the 28 went up into the 2 and then bounced off of him. Oh, that was a big hit for the 70. Just a victim in that one.
Well, good news for the 28. That was not for him because I'm sure Travis Beckner is tired of getting drive-thrus.
I bet he just wants a lucky dog. But Brent Bucari is going to get that.
He is, Travis Beckner, he's quite a few cars away from getting a lucky dog unless we get a bunch. I don't even think we have enough laps to go under caution to give him a lucky dog with at the position he's currently at. Back in 18th is the last car 1 lap down.
So while we've got another moment under yellow here, make sure you check out the High Banks podcast. Just 2 blue-collar guys, Nick and Alex, talking about NASCAR and more. Listen to episode 205 with Brad Slaughter and episode 207 with Jacob Bell. Available on Spotify. And if it's not spicy enough for you, how about rickshotsauce.com? Head on over to rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings.
Which, by the way, that's between Adam Cabot and Peyton Howell because they are a part of the playoffs.
So under 40 laps to go, guys. How are we doing on our picks?
I'm doing fantastic. I don't know about you.
I'm doing
How
okay.
are your 2 picks doing, Kyle?
Well, one's
Your
doing
2
great,
picks.
and the other is doing a little less great, but still
Well, he
pretty
just
good.
came to pit road. So he might do great
Well, mine is.
if we go
solid.
green to the end.
Mine is like watching the Steelers. It's good in the beginning, and then the middle happens, and it's stressful. But we're getting to the end of it where it actually matters. And
You picked again
Matheson.
Matheson.
Yeah, there's a method to the madness. Always is.
I would love for the rest of the race to go under caution. Just saying.
I would not.
What? What is wrong with you? Why would you wish that?
Because I get more points.
Oh yeah, but you get this for what? How long would this take, Kyle? How long is a pace lap here?
45 seconds?
47. So it's like 37 laps at Daytona, basically.
Yeah, that would take way too long.
I mean, we'd still finish before 11 o'clock Eastern Standard, which is when we normally end.
Well, if we wreck under a pace lap, we'd go into overtime.
That's true.
Doubled up. And closing in. Guys, it's so close. It's so fast. If it goes green, there's so little time left. Seth Knoll, James Scioli on the front row in a pair of Toyotas. A couple of Camaros back there. There's a Mustang. Michael Curhan's 5th. He's having a really solid night. Green flag, 36 to go from Bristol.
Off and away is Seth Knoll. Scully trying to secure second place with Blaze McKinney on the bottom. Matheson trying to do the same thing as he works to the outside.
Yeah, he's trying to get third away, and Michael Curran mentioned about him barely sneaking by on the lead lap a couple of laps ago. He's working on Philip Groner for fifth, but Matheson's clear of McKinney for third.
And where's that number 73 with fresh tires on this car?
Curran in the wall. Didn't get too much damage, but it slowed him down a little bit. Still trying to get past Philip Groner, who wants that fifth place spot. Peyton Howell slotting in line behind the 24.
Bob Durant was in the wall next to him as well. Wants to get away from that, but the 73 fast with fresher tires than the top 7 working that outside lane.
Up to the high side. Jake's just trying to find clear road. Again, if we don't get more, I don't really know what you want if you're Jake Nichols. You need some time to stretch your legs. Oh, big wiggle there.
Car snapped hard in the middle of turn 2. He was able to save it and still work past his teammate. So he will get up to 8th place. It's Connor Kresick falling in behind. Whoa, and Phil Groner slammed the door shut in front of Justin Bonnerand as the 73 has a look to the inside of Peyton Howell.
Yeah, trying, but Kresick's going to have a look to the inside of Jake Nichols as well. They pitted under the same caution with him, so both these guys trying to get to the front. Not together as a team, but trying to get there at the same time. So he's still looking to the inside of Nichols.
Jake Matheson in the 54, working over the 7 of Scioli here for second place. Really tight to the tailpipes of that Solar Flare 7.
Trying to find that opportunity, just hasn't quite presented itself. Ideally, you like to make the move on the outside. That's exactly where Scioli is going, to be defensive. But here is a look from the 54 to the inside. Has that purchase now. It's a matter, can he execute? Can he get the run off the corner he needs? I don't quite think so. He will not that time.
Well, 7's going to give him the outside lane through 1 and 2. He'll have a good diamond through the center. But that'll just park it back up and kind of run the tire tracks of the 54, or trying to mimic the tire tracks of the 54, looking at his mirror. But meantime, Seth Knoll just drive away half a second up.
He's been dominant in the later stages of this race. And the 73, I don't hate the strategy call here, but he's got a lot to dispatch in the next 6 minutes if he wants to win this race.
As of the issue is that, tires are nice and all, but I just don't think there's enough of a difference in tire life where it's going to make a whole lot of difference. Only about 20 lap different tire life between his own and the leaders, and a lot of those were under caution, so just doesn't quite have the advantage to really overpower his competitors, and he's kind of stuck in line. He saw a dive from Connor Kresick trying to work around Howell and Curran directly in front of him.
I mean, I've seen crazy things happen, so I wouldn't rule it out. Getting close to that wall.
No changes, no challenges up at the front for now. Connor Kresick trying to work over Jake Nichols now that Nichols is sort of stuck in line here, and he's going to go for it. Nichols feels the pressure. He's going to drop to the bottom, squirt out of turn 2, and he just can't build enough of a run, and that high side has been blocked up.
Has been blocked up quite a bit. Well, then they're fighting really close nose to tail in this line. Kresick catching back up to the bumper of the 73. But for the most part, it looks like they're kind of content with the way they're running. A couple looks here and there, but no major moves. As I say that, there goes Nichols to the inside. That's risky because of Kresick. He's trying to take the top lane. 3 wide as Howell goes to the middle. It almost doors the 73 out of line.
And he's not going to make that easy. The top 7 all playoff drivers right now, especially the 24 of Curran. He entered tonight on the outside looking in, actually last in the playoff standings, so he's trying to make the most of his situation, looking for his first top 10, let alone top 5 at Bristol. Ooh, yeah. Scioli, hello. He's closing in on Knoll.
He is. He's 2.5 tenths back, 3 tenths back now. 18 to go. There's still plenty of time on the lap chart, maybe not on the clock. He's got to move.
Well, we got 4 minutes left in the race as they run, so it's not a whole lot of time. And I'm wondering between these two, obviously at this point in the race, teammates throw that out the window. Obviously, you're not going to wreck each other probably, but now it's a matter of fighting out on pure pace. And Seth Knoll, he's shown he's had that pace for quite a bit of the race. Nichols early on held it, but he's now stuck in traffic, so now it's between the 1 and the 7. And as I say that, caution out.
Oh, Oh, I was just about to say, oh gosh, big wreck on the front
Whoa.
stretch. Oh, still colliding, but Blaze McKinney is going to be in a good spot on this next restart, Kyle.
Yeah, I'd say so. We'll see how this kicked off a moment ago. 81 in the 30. 30 goes way up to the top. Does he just diamond this on
actually
exit?
the 9 of Justin Bondurant.
Oh, he just drove into it. He
Oh, man.
didn't cause
Yeah,
it.
the nine clipped the outside wall. Oh,
A 5 car got into him.
and Connor Horn, Tyler Nichols getting through.
Greg Mitchell caught a piece of that, and then took a Miller.
A lot of cars involved.
Big one, question mark.
A couple of laps ago, that 9 pounded the outside wall, so I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the handling, but no, actually, he called it.
These guys, they know exactly how to get us riled up in here, don't they? What?
Someone did
spit it out.
Nichols down on pit lane again.
I don't think that's a good idea at all, Jake.
You know what he looked? He saw, he heard earlier on the picks.
Why does everyone hate me? I don't understand. I didn't. I could pull this plug right now. Just one Ethernet cable, so it goes down.
Yeah, I question that too. I'm not a crew chief, but yeah, that's a weird thing because it didn't work the first time he did it. I mean, arguably now he can get there's a bigger differential on the tires, but again, it's only around 40-50 laps, which I don't think is quite enough. So I don't know. He's gonna come back out on the track in 10th. Didn't really lose a whole lot of position.
I was just about to say he was running 8th when that yellow came out, so
dropped the row.
Yeah,
actually, Matthew Bell just came into pit, so he's actually now only 1 spot down. So actually,
there's
not
always
too
a
crazy.
method to the madness.
So when we restart here, we're going to have 10 laps to go. And these will likely click off pretty quickly again unless we have ourselves some more yellows here. But I am curious about Blaze McKinney, guys. He has put himself in a great spot to grab some great points heading into a track that I think he'll stand another chance of doing pretty well at, because it kind of operates sort of like a super speedway. So this 87 is setting himself up to have a really solid first round here in the playoffs.
He really is, especially because he's been fairly quiet for the rest of the season. Hasn't gotten a win. Taking a look at his finishes, he's had some decent finishes, but never quite peaked more than that. Yeah, highest finish was 2nd place, which he picked up last week at Talladega. So looking to see if he can get a W in that column. Starting in 4th, he's got to get past Matthew Skyley and Seth Knoll to try to get that done.
Doubled up for the restart here, guys. Last 10 laps of the first race of the first round of the playoffs. The cat would like to say hi. Hello. Skedaddle. All right.
No, don't let the cat skedaddle. He wants to watch the finish.
he can't stay on the desk with the boom arm like this, so it's a whole thing. Here we go. Green flag, 10 to go at Bristol. 5 miles left at the last great Coliseum. Seth Knoll clears Scioli, Matheson, McKinney, Peyton Howell, Curran. They're all right there and all within striking distance here.
And Matheson cleared it so hard to the top lane, he hit the wall in the middle of the back straightaway, trying to secure and make sure Blaze McKinney didn't get a move done. But he looks down to the inside as he tries to work past James Scioli in 2nd place.
Yeah, have the one.
Oh, wrecking behind Garrett Grant. A big wreck in turn 3.
That is huge.
And back under yellow again, 8 laps to go. Let's see how this one started.
Survey says.
Oh, these two again.
Oh, Tyler Nichols getting a little piece of that again.
And it looked like the 5 was expecting the 9 to go further up the track.
Yeah, there's a good gap between the 9 and that outside wall, so you're hitting it right on the head there, Finian, and poor Reese Schaefer had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Garrett Grant not thrilled with the 9. Use some very colorful language that I would not like to repeat.
I wouldn't put it all on the 9 there, though. I think there was... Kind of choose whatever line you want around here, right? But...
Oh, he actually wrecked them back under green. I mean, not under green, under yellow.
Just now?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just now.
Well, that's not smart.
No. I don't agree with that because I don't think that it was entirely his... I don't think it was entirely his fault either. That's the thing. Am I in the right spot now?
Yeah, across the start-finish line.
Where's that?
The other side of the track.
No, thank you.
Go back. I
meant
like go back. There you go. There you go.
Even more description, Finian. Time goes forward and backwards in iRacing. All right, I need some help.
Right there.
Yeah, we'll
and
probably
getting news from race control. He is going to be parked for the rest of the event.
Yep. No surprises there.
Did say temperatures are going to rise.
They have. Are they going to rise like your investment in shop.areairacing.com merchandise? Race fans, visit shop.areairacing.com for high-quality merchandise at low prices. Shop from over 100 selections of t-shirts, hats, champion brand clothing, and more area accessories. Easier to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. Shop.areairacing.com.
Kind of ironic that Garrett Grant has area shopped on his car.
I mean, hey, camera time.
Perfect timing. And speaking of timing, not going to be a whole lot left here. Going to get the green, 3 laps to go?
Yeah, so it might be a green, white checker, but looking at some guys here that could get some pretty good results. You mentioned the 14 of Kresic, the highest non-playoff driver. Philip Groner in 9th as well. And Brett Bucari running in, well, is he 9th or 10th? Either way, he's inside the top 10.
What the heck is this cat doing? Oh my God, stop.
He really wants to get a good view of this finish because he knows it's going to start ticking up.
I've neglected this poor cat for the last 3 weeks. I mean, he has gotten to check in every day, but he is so stoked to be back, and he just wants to play with literally everything: shoelaces, hoodie strings, headphone cables, all of the above. All right, you're right, Finian. 3 laps left, and we will get an opportunity for a couple of green-white checkers, but we can get 2 laps around. We will not need one. Here we go.
Back in the air once more. Seth Knoll off and away. Matheson trying to get to the inside of James Scully and make his run through because he knows he's got only a couple opportunities left.
Well, McKinney's going to try and take advantage of that outside lane and get around the 54 for 3rd, but just 2 laps left for the Solar Flare duo to finish this.
Out of turn 2 into 3 now. Quarter mile left until we get to the white flag. Seth Knoll got the lead away a long ways back, and he hasn't really had to look out the mirror all that much, save for under the yellows. Down the back straightaway for the final time. They're side by side for 4th place. Nichols back up to P4, but Seth Knoll comes out of turn 4. He'll take the win at Bristol. Scioli, Matheson, Nichols, and McKinney, the rest of your top 5.
Woo! What an absolute duel there. Nichols trying to use the tires to an advantage and made up for it right there, just getting himself a top 4. Ended up beating McKinney by 8 thousandths of a second at the line.
So playoff drivers finish 7 spots inside the top 10. Kresic the highest of those. Not in the playoff, but Seth Knoll adds another win to his total, Kyle, and he's advancing to the next round.
Here's a look at your race results, guys. Seth Knoll, Scioli, Matheson, Nichols. Great night for Solar Flare, and of course the Springer Racing Graphics 54. There's McKinney up there, Michael Curhan. That's an okay night. He gained some points on some other fellow playoff competitors in 8th place. Then Groner and Bell, of course, don't want to miss Kresic there in P6. Finian 11 through 20th, though. This is where we see a couple playoff competitors that probably wish they had a slightly better night.
Yeah, Connor Horton didn't quite get the finish he would have liked, although considering he's been a lap down for quite a long time for tonight. Yeah, 12th, not too bad for him. Back in 14, Tyler Nichols and Adam Cabin 15. Cabin, she was going to be very disappointed considering what could have been had he not being involved in a wreck early on back in 15. But Miller behind him, Bondurant, Turner, Silver, and Service for top 20.
Then outside the top 20, Seth Berger, Emerson Arden, Ed Robertson, Greg Mitchell, Garrett Grant. Unfortunate there. It looked like he was going to have a top 5 potentially. Douglas Dubing, the playoff driver, finished 26th. Reese Schaefer, Andrew Painich, your junior, and where did 29th go? I don't have 29th here, but on the screen it says Weissart. 30th is Ben Pierce. Oh, you know what? It's probably Bondurant. That's why I don't see him on there.
And looking down the rest of the order here, Cameron Hearn out early. Same with Hartz and Oates. And, of course, Garrett Grant. I don't know that he'll officially finish, but scored 34th at the moment. Let's talk with our third-place finisher, Jake Matheson, in the number 54. Jake, tonight, pretty solid night. You started on pole, led a couple of laps. One to be exact. And you finished P3. Take us through your night. Happy with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I'm paired up against a Seth or James on Bristol, I mean, it's really just, excuse my roommate talking, I can't help it. But Seth and James just ran a great race. Whenever we come to Bristol, they're the cream of the crop, So getting to P3 out of this is good. I had to throw that really aggressive block, 2 to go on McKinney. I think I may have walled him, so sorry about that, but got to get clear in these situations. That first 100 lap run was really fun though. I mean, that was just cutting up lap traffic, slowing down to save tires, being able to catch back up within a second. It was a blast. So yeah, I had fun. Just got to thank Ricky for putting together the Slinger Racing Graphics 54 as usual. He's not here tonight, unfortunately, but gotta give all my thanks to him. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Jake, thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And second place tonight, James Scioli. Well, James, you were one of my 2 picks to win tonight, and P2 this evening, and led some laps, but just not quite enough pace there at the end. Take us through it.
Yeah, I appreciate the pick there. Felt really good. Felt really, really good on that long run. Was kind of able to hold my spot in the top 5 and then let Seth go late there in that run, and then was able to chase him and Jake back down and get around him pretty easily. Luckily, they didn't put up too much of a fight for me, and was honestly feeling really good. And then I saw J-Math and Seth pitted, and I knew with only 70 laps to go, the tires weren't going to wear out enough for me to take 4 and come out with anywhere close enough to have a shot. So I just took 2 and got in front of them. So was happy to retain the lead there. I think 2 would have worked on the long run. I think I would have been able to hang on there, but fortunately the yellow came out, and I just knew my left sides were going to be too old to take 2 again. So Seth took 2 and was just able to kind of control the restarts from there. And I was honestly just kind of trying to play defensive, make sure I didn't get wrecked. I knew I was going to be in a really good point spot coming out of here if I just finished top 5. So was honestly happy to just finish top 5 and have a shot to win.
James Scioli second tonight at Bristol. James, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Want to first give a huge shout out to you guys and to the admin team for helping us week in and week out, especially in this playoff format. Really appreciate all that they do. Huge shout out to Seth and Jake. We were all up front there. Very happy to have another good team showing. So huge shout out to Solar Flare. Thanks to Drafty Car for being on the car, and hopefully in the same spot or maybe one better on Thursday.
James, thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
And winner of tonight's race is Seth Knoll, and I was joking earlier that my picks on you have been hot or cold. I missed this one tonight, and Finian, again, is going to add to his win column, unfortunately. So led a whole bunch of laps, really the entire tail half of this race. Take us through your evening and holding off James Scioli.
Hunter, did you not give him the trends? This is our best track.
I tried.
Yeah, I mean, classic Bristol, we all killed our right fronts on the long run. We had comers and goers. We got to Nichols right before the pit cycle. All 3 of the Solar Flare guys were cutting it up there for a little bit, and then Matheson had just joined us before we pitted, and then it was setting up for, I think Scioli was probably gonna cycle and win the race, and then we had a yellow, and I was able to take the 2 tires, kind of get the track position. Blaze pit on the second lap for whatever reason, and once you get the lead with under 60 to go, it's just manage your race, just run the middle, top, and just hope that the yellows play out correctly, and tonight they did.
They sure did. Seth Knoll wins tonight at Bristol. Seth, congratulations. You're through to the next round. Not that you needed a whole lot of help with that, and we'll see you on the other side. Appreciate your time.
All right, appreciate it, boys.
All right, guys. Quick night here at Bristol, despite a couple of late race yellows. Fun evening. Finian, final thoughts?
Yeah, fantastic race from these guys. Kept it fairly green for the most part. We almost did finish this under green. But a fantastic run, some great green flag action, some great action on the restarts for these drivers. So just some solid racing from Bristol all around, and I'm sure with some tempers heated up, we may see it spill out over into Michigan, where we start to eliminate 4 drivers.
Yeah, one of those drivers facing certain elimination unless he wins is Ricky Springer. He didn't make it tonight, so he's not going to be in a good spot. But one driver in somewhat of a good spot, Michael Curran. He's +4 to the cut line. Entered 12th in tonight's race and left +4 in the positions with a 8th place finish. So solid run there. Tyler Nichols on the outside looking in, and Adam Cabot as well. Unfortunate night for him, Kyle. I mean, it looked like he had a top 5 car, but got caught up in some shenanigans. Douglas Dubing as well on the outside looking in. And Connor Horn's fallen a couple of spots. Didn't have a good night, but still +9 to the cut line.
Wild night at Bristol, Michigan next week. More Bristol this week with the Trucks and Florida Staples Area Pro Series. We'll see you there.